Hey, ooh. Go ahead, like and subscribe for me, baby. Hey guys, welcome to this week's review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now, I just started watching the show last season. I've seen clips here and there, but because I just started watching, I don't have the history of the characters, right? Or the references, but I can say this. The men on the show are some of the most toxic husbands on reality television. Okay, that's a really big statement. I'm pretty sure there are worse on TLC. I don't think it'll be that hard to find somebody on TLC that's worse. But from what I've seen, they're up there. Like Martel, if you want to know what a narcissist is, watch Love and Marriage Huntsville and watch Martel. He's an absolute case study right there. Like, I don't know. I don't understand how they're around this guy. I really don't. Because he's just so obviously off. But yet people are talking to him like he's normal. Or like what he does is not a big deal. You know, they're talking to him like he doesn't know. He knows what he's doing, obviously. He's a narcissist. Or, let me not label people. He has narcissistic behaviors. A lot of them. And he's definitely sexist. 100%. So, let's get into it, right? Destiny. Now, a lot of people were wondering last season, where was the husband, right? It's kind of weird. You're on a reality show about love and marriage, and you're married, and your husband is nowhere to be found, and you just had a baby. So I think everybody kind of knew that the relationship was on the rocks, right? It is what it is. It definitely happens. She didn't tell anybody. She kept it to herself until she filed for divorce, and a month after she tells, I think it was a month, right? She's sitting down with Melody and she tells her, I got a divorce, it's been finalized. And Melody is like, hello, I'm your friend, why didn't you tell me that you got a divorce? But low-key, I don't know if it's just me, Melody's face and her reaction, it didn't come across as surprise. It didn't seem like she was shocked. I felt like she knew already, right? But they were just having a moment. But whatever, I'm gonna suspend disbelief and believe that Melody really didn't know that your good friend, got a divorce. Like, how do you not know that? Either you guys are not that close to friends, right? You probably hang out with each other when you guys are filming. But I just find it kind of weird. This is your best friend and you don't know that she's separated. But it is what it is. But then Destiny's kind of reasoning for not telling Melody was kind of weird to me. When she was like, you were going through a lot, so I wanted to be there for you in your divorce. That didn't make any sense to me, because if you guys are both getting a divorce, you guys are going through the same thing, wouldn't you want to bond over that? Especially, by Destiny's account, she didn't seem so torn up about it. She was like, the sky looked different, the birds were singing, the flowers smell sweet. She was talking like it was the best thing that ever happened to her, which is totally fine, right? So if it was all that, right, why didn't you say anything? Now, okay, I'm gonna put myself in her shoes, right? And I can kind of understand maybe why she didn't say anything, because for me, obviously you wouldn't want to get married to get a divorce. But I'm not the type of person that's gonna push someone to stay married if the marriage is not working and it's not healthy, right? But I feel like in Huntsville, it's a little bit different. Because Martel and Melody, they had friends that were trying to get them together. Everybody was saying, You guys can't work it out? Don't you love each other? What about the kids? Like, people were really seriously trying to get Melody back together with Martel. Martel, the narcissist. Sorry, I shouldn't say he's a narcissist. Martel, someone who frequently displays narcissistic behaviors, right? Who serially cheated on his wife and got another woman pregnant. And you have their friends and people around them saying, you guys can work it out. You guys should work it out. So I can understand if that's the environment that you're in and getting a divorce is taboo or seen as a failure. You don't want everybody in your ear telling you what you need to do or this or that, especially if you know you no longer want to be in the marriage. So you just want to file it, be done, let it sink in, and then when you're ready, tell everybody and deal with the aftermath. So for that, I can maybe kind of understand. But for some reason, I don't know. I don't feel like Melody would have gave her that. I think Melody would have understood. Maybe not the other people around, but I think definitely Melody, because she was going through the same thing, that she would understand where you're coming from. One thing about Destiny, I know Destiny and Kimmy had beef before because, I don't know, Kimmy kind of referred to her husband as the chicken man, and she didn't like that. And she has the right to not like that. I can understand. That's sort of like a passive-aggressive dig. Maybe. But she held on to it a little too long. You could tell she still sort of feels a way about it. So when Kimmy asked, so where's your husband? She took great offense to that. And I don't really understand that. If you're married, wouldn't it be normal for someone to ask, how's your husband? Is it that controversial? But low-key, most likely, everybody already knew. Maybe not that they were divorced, but that they were separated, right? And Kimmy definitely could have just been asking. She already knew the answer, but the cameras was there, right? So she wanted the moment. And Destiny was smart. She didn't give her that moment, but she decided to have that moment with Melody. So another scene that happened is Martel goes to Destiny's beauty shop, right? Oh my gosh. I really don't understand the friendship between Martel and Destiny. I really don't. And the only way I can explain it is that they're filming a show, so they have to have scenes together. 'Cause no way would I be friends with this person. Straight up. Right? And he's giving her products to put in her shop, and he is just making some BS about, oh, I'm part of the company, but not yet. I wanted to wait till my divorce is finalized before I signed on and get 20%, and all sorts of nonsense and gibberish, right? And Destiny was kind of annoying me in this scene because she was like, well, I'm concerned about you. Did you sign a contract? I don't want you to get ripped off. And da-da-da-da-da-da. Destiny, be quiet. Because what he's doing, who knows what he's doing? I don't know if he has a regular 9 to 5, but he doesn't want to say he's doing a 9 to 5 because out of pride. And they're all big about having ownership and being a businessman. So I don't know if he's saying it out of ego that he is going to own 20%, but he doesn't yet, right? Who knows what's going on, but it's pretty clear that he's not being honest. And I guess everybody's different. But I feel like when someone is just BSing, there's no point to even ask them a bunch of questions or even feign fake concern for them for their nonsense, because it's they're just gonna say whatever to get you to stop. They're not really open to having an honest conversation with you because he's about protecting his ego. right? And like after that exchange, he's like saying, well, that's why you're divorced, because you talk too much. You and Melody, you talk too much. Or maybe they call you out on your lies, right? And they hold you accountable and you don't like that, right? So you just want to go along and make up some cockamamie story about you're going to own 20%, but you're not sure, and this and that. Like, shut up, Martel. But I'm gonna be on Martel's side for one thing when it comes to Destiny. Destiny had a problem with him kind of shouting out his unborn child on an Instagram post when he was opposing with one of his other kids, his youngest so far. Yeah, maybe he shouldn't have put that on social media, right? Shouting out the baby you had out of wedlock, right? But at the end of the day, your child is innocent. They didn't choose to be in that situation. So I do think it is kind of unfair to that child just because of the sins, just because the father had sinned, that child now has to live in that sin or face that consequences, or that child, will be treated differently from the other children that Martel had within the marriage with Melody. The child's innocent, right? So yes, I can understand it's awkward, but listen, this just didn't happen. We had a whole season about this. Everybody knows, everybody's talking about it, everybody has done interviews on it, so it's not a secret, right? So I think, listen, if you post your other children on social media, this child should be posted and talked about on social media too. It shouldn't be kept a secret, because it's not a secret. Everybody knows. So I do agree with Martel on that, but I also know Martel, and I know that he is shady, and he does use the kids to get sympathy and to get back at Melody, right? Because remember, he posted that video on social media where he's just talking all this crap about Melody, and the kids are like literally right behind him in the car, and he's talking all this crap, and he's actually getting the kids to join in and talk about not Melody, but to talk about Melody's brother, right? That is just so messed up. That's 101 not to do when you're getting a divorce. You don't involve the children in your petty drama, right? And you definitely don't put it on social media. Because, hopefully Melody sees that and sees that the kids are being manipulated by Martel. But a worse person would look at that and be like, oh, these kids are ungrateful. They're talking a bunch of crap. And now you're causing tension between the kids and the mother, or the kids and the uncle, right? Which then low-key further pushes the kids towards Martel. And I feel like that's what he wants. He wants that division. He has narcissistic behavior. Oh gosh. He's messed up. Now, Kimmy and Tisha. I feel like their drama started before last season, and like I said, I just started to watch last season, so I don't get all the nuances of their beef. But the fact that I don't really know what their issues is shows me that maybe they can get past it, right? I think they ended off last season in a more positive space. But I don't know. I think what it is, a lot of these reality show people, they expect a certain level of loyalty that is just not realistic on this platform. If it was real life, then it would be a completely different story. But you cannot expect someone that you're friends with not to talk to another cast member just because you're not getting along with them, right? Because at the end of the day, this is their job. This is like if you worked at McDonald's, right? And your friend at work was having a beef with another person, another coworker, and they expected you not to talk to that person at all. Especially if you don't have beef with that person and maybe you were even friendly with that person. But in order to do your job, you have to interact with them. You have to talk to them on some level. So it's just you're putting that person in a bad place, right? But they all do it and they all get mad at that person. And I think that's what's happening with Kimmy, because Tisha had a problem with Melody, which I don't think she's wrong on. But the fact that she expects Kimmy to have this level of loyalty to her is just ridiculous and unrealistic, right? You guys are filming a show together. She can't just ice Melody out, especially low-key. She's not the star of the show, but she is low-key kind of the star of the show. So Kimmy will be kicked out before Melody would be. Let's be real. So don't set your friend up. Especially if you're just gonna make up with the person next week and then now your friend is like looking stupid. It is what it is. So Melody and Martel's friend, I forgot his name, right? He's also in business with Martel, or was in business with Martel, with the whole 47 acres thing, right? So he approaches Melody and he asks her, would you like to purchase a house on the 47 acres? And she's like, I would consider it, but I don't want to go over Martel's head or ego. I don't want it to be an issue, so you need to talk to him first and make sure he's okay with that. I'm gonna use my magic and I'm gonna predict that he's not gonna be okay with that, right? I mean, anyone could have predicted that he's not gonna be okay with that. And I would say I like the idea, right? If their divorce was amicable, then I would be like, sure, go ahead and do it, because I do think what they're trying to do is a good idea, right? And I would want to support that. But like I said before, Martel is a narcissist. So he's not just going to step back and allow Melody to purchase a house and not cause problems. He is very spiteful, and I feel like he will always find a way to undermine her. So because of that, I would be like, don't have anything to do with it. I wouldn't get involved with that, because I feel like he is the type of person that will come back and try to destroy you in some way. I don't know how, but he's gonna cause you problems. Because another thing that I notice, I hate to say this, but for someone that is so, especially in the earlier scene, right? He's so sexist. And he's talking about, women have to allow men to be men and blah, 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 blah. Right? And okay, if you believe that, fine. But the way that Martel is acting, he's not acting like a quote-unquote man. He's not. And the irony is that Melody is doing more with his last name than he's doing with his own last name. Sadly enough. So he probably already feels some type of way. And if she purchases a house or comes in on that deal, he's gonna do all that he can to bring her down. His ego can't handle it. And some people will say, so whatever, right? I'm not going to miss out on an opportunity just over him, right? Because that's me backing down. That's me losing. And I say, sometimes, yes, you have to fight. And then other times, you need to have a bit of peace, right? But low-key, I also feel like this is storyline. I do. I feel like this is storyline. So, of course she's gonna get involved because I feel like it's storyline. Plus, I like the premise as well, so I can understand you being motivated to get involved. The only reason I would say not to is because I don't think you want to deal with Martel. I don't think you want to deal with the headache of a Martel. So, let's move on, right? So, Marceau throws a surprise party for Tisha because she got her master's. Congratulations, Tisha. Now, the audience is pretty hard on Tisha, but I like Tisha. And yes, she's annoying. Don't get me wrong, she's annoying. But I can get where she's coming from with certain things, right? I don't think she's always wrong, you know? I don't think she was wrong in her feeling some type of way towards Melody. I don't think she's wrong with some of her interactions with Marceau, because Marceau can be very arrogant and very dismissive, right? So, yeah, but when it comes to the whole Kimmy situation, I do get what other people are saying about Tisha, that she needs to learn to let things go, right? This was so long ago. Kimmy said what she said. You didn't like it, right? Now what? Are you going to hate her forever? Are you going to have a problem forever over something so small? Sure, maybe you guys are not going to be as close as you were before. Maybe you're going to be a little bit more careful and more guarded with what you tell her. That's completely fine. But you can't keep... It's like you want her to pledge loyalty to you. And it's just not going to happen. Kimmy's not going to do that for you. So you need to accept that. You can't bully her into being the friend that you want her to be. This is who she is. So are you going to accept it or you're not? Or maybe you're going to move different. Maybe you guys can be friends, but you're not going to be as close. And I think Tisha always... It's like Tisha expects Kimmy to do all the work on mending the friendship, right? And listen, I get it. Friends, they have falling out. And they're more than friends. They're family at this point, right? I get it. People are not always going to agree. They're going to have issues. It takes two people to come together to make it work, right? Tisha has to reach out. Kimmy has to reach out. It is what it is. It can't just be Tisha laying on her back and then Kimmy doing everything to try to make the friendship work. I mean, Tisha needs to let this go at this point. Because this is dumb. Okay, guys, that's everything. This season looks pretty good, right? My first time watching was last season, like I said, and it was pretty interesting. So I'm looking forward to this season as well. So, see you guys.